Hi, everyone. Welcome to the First to STEM on-campus job opportunity workshop. So you're here with Trevor and I. We're going to walk you through just the process and some resources. We'll have someone from the Writing Center come by, but hopefully by the end of this video recording in this workshop, you'll be able to apply for a job. So let's get started.
We're going to start off with applying through Handshake. So what is Handshake? Handshake is it's a tool used for searching and applying for jobs. And what's nice is Handshake is linked up with CSUSM. Basically, the Career Center has a partnership with Handshake. So most of the CSUSM jobs are posted to Handshake. So this is a great way to actually look for an on-campus job. So I'm going to show you how to kind of get onto that. So if you go to Handshake and go to log in, then it'll bring you to this window. And you can see that, right? So if you search San Marcos in the students and alumni, it'll bring you to the Cal State San Marcos login. So here is Handshake. So let me move the screen out of the way. So you'll see you have at the top a profile and then a link to the Career Center. And then on the left, you'll have jobs and events. So I want to start off here. So, so you have a profile and you can upload your resume and cover letter to this site. So once your resume is directly on this site, then you have a few of your experiences on here. When you go to your profile, you can do something similar. So putting in your work and volunteer experience, so it knows what relevant experience you have when applying to other jobs. So this kind of acts as a virtual resume as well. So, so once you enter Handshake, it's going to ask you for a list of preferences of what kind of jobs you want, whether it's internship or here. Let me go back to the PowerPoint really quick. So whether you're looking for an internship, a student assistant position, front desk, maybe working in IITS for helping with technology. Other jobs that are on campus are basically like campus recreation or in the financial aid office on Cougar Central. And then you can apply through Handshake to various jobs. So let me show you. So if we go to this website, this is the SI website for Cal State San Marcos, and that's supplemental instruction. So you'll see if you're looking to become a part-time SI leader, then you can apply through Handshake, and it'll bring you to your profile. So so when you're searching for an on-campus job, I want to show you how to do that because many of you have expressed that that a job on campus would be preferable. Usually it's flexible with your hours. They won't make you work more than 20 hours a week. So so you can focus on your studies as well. So you'll see, since this is already, this is through your student email, your CSUSM email, one of the things that you can search job-wise, so you'll see full-time, internship, part-time, one of them you can search is on-campus jobs. So you can just filter out those jobs that are on campus. So for example, athletics operations, student assistant, psychology tutor for the Academic Success Center. And look, there's that job that I was talking about, the supplemental instruction leader or SI leader. A little bit of information about the role. So the application deadline, when you want to get this turned in by, the salary, $15 an hour, and it says that it's remote work. So then you would go to apply. and you can attach your resume directly there or transcript, any related documents, but at least you're gonna always wanna put your resume. So have that on handy and have it up to date when you go to submit. So another thing that I wanted to note was I kind of talked about the partnership between the Career Center and Handshake. So let me go to that. So Cal State San Marcos, you can make appointments with the Career Center. You can look at resources such as resume examples or how-tos on certain things. Additionally, with appointments, you can set up mock interviews with a Career Center rep, or they have a new it's an AI that does like kind of a virtual mock interview with you. So that's pretty cool. And then it'll also let you know of the CSUSM events on this page. But if you want a list of all of the events, if you go to events, since this is linked with Career Center, you'll see them here as well. So CSUSM academic internships on Thursday, April 15th. CSUSM, get your resume and cover letter noticed on May 24th. So a variety of different things, resources offered by the Career Center are accessible through Handshake. So as a review, when you first get on Handshake, it's going to ask you your preferences. So fill those out. Make sure that your resume is up to date and all pretty, and put it into the documents part, and then go to your profile, fill out all of your work experiences there, and then go to jobs and select on-campus jobs. So cool. So that concludes kind of the section just on applying through Handshake. So if you're on a site or if you're talking, you're expressing interest in a job and they say the application's on Handshake, go through there. And you'll just have to log in with your same CSUSM credentials. So your CSUSM email and the password you use to get into your CSUSM email is going to be the same one that works for Handshake. Cool. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about applying through a website. And this is not so much a how-to, but I do want to make note that you want to read the instructions carefully whenever applying through a website. So I'm going to be using CSUSM websites, but just so you pay attention to things like what are the materials that you need? Is it just resume, or do you need to upload a resume and cover letter, or a resume and some answers to supplemental questions? So there's a couple different things that they could ask for. Also, sometimes you just fill out an interest form on a website, and then that will be considered the submission of your application. So I want to provide just a few examples and just show you kind of what I mean here. So STEM Ambassador Program is a program that is looking for hires all year round. They have a partnership with CSUSM, and the way that it works is they hold either after school classes or summer camps, etc., where basically you work with students K through 12 in STEM related activities. Ambassador program, so like it said, so leading tours of CSUSM research labs, sharing information about their undergraduate experience, conducting interactive science demonstrations for K-12 students. So it's a few hours a week commitment, and the application is open year round. You see in the on the website, they have the ambassador application link, and it pulls it up and you can submit it right here. So you see that it's going to ask for your name, email, major, interests, qualifications. So this is one of the ones where you're going to have to fill out the application directly on the site. So so after you get through all this, be prepared to answer a few little questions and take some time to do this. You don't need to sit down and do it all at once. One thing that you can do is take note of the different prompts and then take some time to think about the answers and write them out so you don't feel pressured to do it all in one. You would submit it directly on here. Notice that, let me make sure that there wasn't a part for submitting your resume. They will likely reach out for it after, but this is an example of one where you wouldn't have to submit that. So another example that I wanted to show you was applying to the STEM Success Center. So STEM Success Center is hiring math tutors. They're currently in looking for math tutors, and that's going to be anyone who did well in Math 101 is putting on my other hat. They're looking for people who did well in Math 101, but can tutor any of kind of the lower division math. And let me show you how that one works actually. So if you click that link, that'll bring you to the STEM Success Center page. And in the left-hand corner, you'll see join the team. So there's two different opportunities, and both can technically apply to you. There is a tutor application for like I said, for science and math tutors, and then a student assistant position where basically a front desk staff. So if you download this, it's a PDF application. So you would download this and fill it out. So I know that everything is online. Usually in person, people print it out and fill it out in like pen or pencil and then turn it back to us. But since we're in the online, probably the best thing to do is to open this on Adobe Acrobat DC, which you have through Cougar Apps, because it's going to allow you to actually edit this. So you could just start writing the supplemental answers under the question and fill this all out. So this is one of the ones I wanted to mention with pay like kind of close attention. So how to apply. So you need 2 faculty or staff references, a copy of your unofficial transcript, a Unit 11 application, and then filling out supplemental questions. So similar to the STEM ambassador position, you're going to have to kind of respond to some prompts. And I give you the advice of take the time to do it, really sit down, because think about it, when they are reviewing people's applications and they just see like one line or like a few word answers, they're going to be able to easily pick between, okay, who kind of cares about this position, who maybe doesn't, who maybe is just applying to kind of multiple jobs. So show them you care, put like some thoughtful kind of verbiage into this, because if you're thinking about it, kind of first impressions are everything, and this is their first impression of you. So when it comes to faculty and staff references, you could put someone from a past job, or you could put someone who like a professor that you did particularly well in their class, or even a professor that you showed that you tried, is a good part. So yeah, that is what I have to say here. Attach unofficial transcripts, and those are just those can be downloaded through your My CSUSM. If you go to your academics tab, you can go to unofficial transcript and download the PDF.
So LinkedIn is a super good resource. If you haven't heard about it before, it's basically like social media, but for your career. I will show you what the like pages look like. And to me, it looks just like Facebook, but more professional. So I'll be going over like my LinkedIn, but it is really useful to have. Even now, as you're a freshman, you can build off of it. So a lot of people use it towards the end of their academic careers, like when they're about to graduate. But if you start now, if you start early, you can keep track of things. It's just way easier if you start early. So how can it actually be useful? There's networking, and I'll go over that. But basically, like I said, LinkedIn's like social media for careers. You can network with your past coworkers, your current coworkers, professors, people from your college, people from your community. And it's really helpful to kind of see them in that professional spotlight. Like I mentioned, data collection, you can keep track of everything that you've done over the years. So like all your jobs, volunteering, maybe you did what I put on mine is a lot of volunteering or like fundraising. So it's good to have that collection because I know you're going to apply for jobs, or I know you're going to like redo your resumes or like start over, and you're going to forget, because this happens to me all the time. Wait, what did I do again in like 2016? Like I don't remember, but if you have a LinkedIn, you can just look back and it's all organized. It's extremely helpful. And lastly, you can actually apply to jobs through LinkedIn, to some pretty good like big companies. Like on mine, it doesn't show it, but if you follow certain companies like Google, NASA, SpaceX, once in a while they will post jobs that you can apply for. So it's super cool. So let me share my LinkedIn, and like you can see what it looks like. So this is my LinkedIn. I've had it for years. I want to say when I was like a sophomore in high school is when I started it. So like I said, it's basically Facebook. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So, it has these tabs up here. Your home like space is literally like a news feed of all the people you follow, all the companies you follow. So I follow like the county of San Diego. That's all I can add. Other people, it's funny because there's ways like you can celebrate people. Like this is my friend Jose, and he's like, oh, this is his 4th year at Santa Barbara. I'm going to say time flies. Like you could literally post that. That's just my friend, so I'll be fine. But I mean, you can see there's lots of ways to like check in with people. So what I want to go over again is like the network. If I hit my network, it's going to show you like a bunch of people. For example, for me, like people in my network, like I live in San Diego, so it's going to show me all these San Diego things. But you can like add people as you start. I want to show you like the important thing, which is connecting. So like these are all the people I've connected with throughout my academic career, my actual career, even before that when I was just like an undergraduate, even when I went to community college and part of high school. So you can see we have Trevor right here. We have Dr. Sue right here. So it's good to connect with people. Just because you never know. Maybe like 5 years from now, like I see Trevor on LinkedIn and he's like, hey, looking for a job. Like my company's like posting this one job, and I'm like, hey, Trevor, remember me? It's helpful. I will say I've actually gotten a job off of LinkedIn once, and it was pretty cool. It's very like direct. I know there's lots of ways to apply for jobs, but I'll show you, and it's actually really easy. So, I wanted to show you my profile really fast because this is like the data collection part. So like I said, I've had this for a really long time. So it has like all my information, like where I worked, where I went to school. If you scroll down, I literally put like all my jobs. Like I used to work at the zoo. I used to work at a high school. So you can see like there's 5 more experiences, and this is like 2018. So like I've listed things from like, I want to say 2015 maybe. It's like a resume but online, so it's super helpful, and like I said, helps you keep track of everything. So then the last thing I wanted to show you guys were jobs. So it's really cool. Through LinkedIn, you can literally apply to anything. What's really nice is like for me right now, my current position is a program coordinator. So it gives you like suggested searches. You can type in the city. Like even if you wanted to like get a job out of state, that's pretty cool. You put in a different state. And then I'll tell you like recommended jobs in the area. So I wanted to show you kind of like how that looks. So I found 2. I'm not applying to jobs right now. Don't worry, Trevor. Don't worry, Dr. Sue. So since it recommended me, since I went to UC San Diego, I got a biology degree, so it's recommending like a junior biologist. And it kind of tells you everything. So it tells you like the company, like how big it is. It's telling me there's 7 alumni that worked for this company. So those are people I know. Kind of tells you like the description, duties, like skills you need, qualifications, like compensation, that's important, salary. So it shows you where it is. But the important thing I wanted to show you is you can apply, and there's 2 ways to apply. So sometimes if it's a company like this, it'll take you to like a different website. But you can apply with LinkedIn. So if you put your resume and you put like you fill out your whole profile, it does it for you. So you don't have to like fill this thing out. Cause I know filling out job applications take a really long time. So sometimes it's really easy like this. You can see you still have to answer a bunch of stuff. So that's one way you can do it. Another way is it's called in easy apply. You literally apply within LinkedIn. So like I said, if you fill everything out, like it's way easier. So I'm not going to hit submit or anything, but all you need to do is put in your like your phone number basically, and it will show you the progress, but eventually you have to upload a resume, and it takes everything in from your LinkedIn. So it's really easy to apply on here. And then of course you can always, if you click one thing, I'll show you another thing. So that's really, really helpful. I definitely recommend trying to get one, even though you guys are just freshmen. Some of you might have a resume already, or you might have a job already. Maybe you haven't started your resume, but you have like an idea of what you want to put on it. But I mean, the basic tips I can give you, I don't want to make this a whole like another resume workshop. Just basically keep it short. You don't want to make it like more than 2 pages. I feel like even more than 1 page sometimes it's a lot to read. You want to make it visually appealing too. You just don't want to make like a list with like everything all jumbled up. You want to make sure it's organized. So I have a resume here, and it's pretty well organized. So you can see that, you put all your contact information. This person put their skills. They listed everything that they've done and every job that they could think of. Then they did their work experience, put responsibilities. They even went the extra mile and made it very visually appealing by putting the logo of the company. And then you see they did like their education. So there's not one template on how to do a resume. I mean, there's tons and tons of ways you can make it your own for sure. I wouldn't recommend like downloading those templates from like websites and just kind of filling it out. Like you can tell when it's a template. So, play around. We have tons and tons of like resume workshops on like through campus, and we'll have someone come talk about that in a little while actually. So, you also want to tailor your resume to like what you're applying to. So this person's resume you can tell it's more like research and like medicine and health. They talk about they were instructors, so they did some education, and then they worked at the Morris Cancer Center and they did a bunch of research. They worked at the hospital, Pathmaker internship at Palomar Health. So this was for like a research position that they applied for. Let's say like they had more tutoring stuff. This person was a tutor for a long time at different places. Let's say they were trying to be like a professor, or like a tutor or a teacher. Then they would list mostly of that. They wouldn't really, list Palomar Health necessarily. So you definitely want to tailor your resume to the job you're applying to. Also, if you don't have a lot of work experience, or you have like no work experience, like that's fine. Don't worry about it, because as long as you have volunteering or like extracurricular activities, basically anything, like I can always show you like resumes I've seen from high school students, and they've put sports, clubs, like family things, like community fundraising. So there's a lot of stuff you can put on there that doesn't have to be work experience. And then we're not going to go super in depth, but some jobs, especially later in your like academic career, maybe when you're a junior or a senior, they will ask for a cover letter. What that basically is you writing a letter to the employer, and like, this is a really short example, but letting them know like you're excited to, apply for the position, kind of tell them who you are, so your experience and your background. You talk about your skills, why you want the job, why you should be hired, and then you offer them information. So it's kind of like, I say it's like a cover page. Like, when you write an essay, you have your cover page with the title, like how long it is, the author. So it's kind of like that. It's like a little summary that the employer gets to look at before they look into your resume. Maybe there's the supplemental questions that you answered. So they kind of look at that first, and, they just want to see who you are. So that's a good way to let them know who you are. So like I said, we have someone that will talk to you about like further workshops on the resumes and the cover letters, but you don't have to worry about cover letters right now, but we definitely have the resources to help you write that. So you don't have to start with like a blank document because it is a little intimidating.
All right, folks. Well, let me introduce myself really quick first. My name is Amanda Tomanik, and I am the Academic English Language Specialist in the Writing Center. You know, my title's not important. Just know that I'm here to support you for writing things. Sarah has included in the email, and I'm sure when you get the recording for this, you'll have that handout too. Just a little flyer I threw together with some information about the Writing Center. But I wanted to let you know that the Writing Center is there to support you as a student at Cal State San Marcos, and we support you for any of the writing that you're doing as a student, including writing that you might be doing for cover letters, resumes, job applications, you know, even if they have those essay style questions that some job interview or some job applications have, we can definitely help you out with that. And I wanted to let you know what those services would be. Obviously, the Career Center is a great place to go for some of that, but you know, if you need a little bit more help with maybe how you're phrasing something, we can help you out. So I want to show you, first of all, the Writing Center website, just in case you haven't been in here this semester, if you're not taking GEW or something like that. On the Writing Center website, the first thing we've got here is a video where some of our tutors will talk about our services. If you've never used our services before, that is a great place to start. The other thing that you'll notice is what our hours are. Now, obviously, we're recording this during the spring semester, and so until the last day of finals, we'll be open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6, and Fridays from 9 to 2. Right now, we are still virtual, but I anticipate that in the fall, you know, no matter what the fall ends up looking like, our hours will remain the same, whether we're in person or being remote, and we are closed for breaks. We will be open this summer, and I'd like to mention that just in case you're doing some internship applications or looking ahead for fall jobs. That will be a limited schedule. I don't know what that will look like yet, but that's kind of why I'm showing you the website. If you look over here on the right side, under spring hours, this will say summer hours once we get to that point, so you can check back and figure that out. The next thing that we have underneath there are kind of the types of services that we have available to you. The first one is going to be about quick help. Quick help is a great place to go if you're confused about how the Writing Center works. Maybe you need help with an appointment or something like that. It's kind of like our virtual lobby on Microsoft Teams. We have a tutor that's kind of looking at that the entire time that we are open. If you want to learn more about that, you've got the link here, or that same link is available on your handout. If you know that you want to ask us something in Quick Help, we've got a button right there that will take you directly to that Teams channel, okay? But let's say that you know that you need some help with one of the items that you are working on. One of the first options we have that's pretty involved is to reserve an appointment. While we are remote, our appointments are going to start at the top of the hour and be 45 minutes long. These are also going to be hosted on Microsoft Teams. You've got 3 different options for that based on your comfort level, your device that you're using, or your internet connectivity. We've got the chat-based, which is just going to be typing messages back and forth with the tutor that you have chosen. We've got voice-based, so that's going to be similar to a phone call where you're using your microphone and you don't have to turn your camera on if you don't feel comfortable doing that, or if your internet, for example, can't handle the video streaming. And then we've got the video-based appointment, which I think would be the closest to meeting somebody face-to-face. You'll have your camera on and the tutor will have their camera on. You've got links here on the home page to learn more about those, or again on your handout, I've got the pages that will kind of explain the nuances of that. But I did want to let you know that if, for example, you decide to make a video-based tutoring appointment and then suddenly your internet starts having problems, don't worry, you can switch to voice-based, you can turn your camera off, and that's okay. On the other hand, though, let's say that you chose chat-based for your appointment and you're finding it difficult to kind of communicate with the tutor or understand them. If you feel comfortable at that point turning your camera on and using your microphone, we're fine with that. We just wanted to let you know that we offer those 3 so that you don't have to worry about your internet or your device getting in the way of you meeting with us for an appointment. With that, since it is on Teams, you are able to upload documents, share your screen, and do all of those kind of interesting things. So for example, if you are applying for a job and you'd like to share the position description with the tutor, you can do that either by sharing your screen or by sending them the link in the chat, even if you're doing a video-based appointment, okay? If you decide that you'd like that dedicated one-on-one 45-minute time period, you can use this button right here to make an appointment. Those appointments are going to be available clear until the last day of finals, and then we'll have a new batch of appointments available in the summer, okay? Now, let's say that those appointments don't fit your schedule. If you're somebody that's very busy or you've got a lot of synchronous classes that don't allow you to have that time. For the job-related stuff, so the cover letters and the resumes, you might be okay just to do asynchronous feedback or submitting a paper for feedback. I want to mention very quickly for you, in case you are a GEW student, that this is not going to meet the visit requirements that you have for that class. So you're not going to be able to double up if you're hoping to do that with this particular service. But the way this service works is you'll fill out a form. We've got a Microsoft form that asks you some questions about what you are doing, and job-related stuff is one of the questions or one of the options that you can choose from that drop-down menu. For the prompt, now this is obviously written as if it were for you doing something for class. For the prompt, you could upload the job description or maybe more information about the job if you wanted to. And then for the actual document, that's where you could send in your resume or your cover letter. And then what you'll do is you'll include a few questions that you have for the tutor. Keep in mind that in the Writing Center, our priority is not proofreading necessarily. What we will do though is address concerns you have. So if you're not sure if you were polite enough, for example, you can ask that question. If you're not sure if the grammar you used makes sense, that's a question that you can ask. And what the tutor will do with the asynchronous feedback is they will use Microsoft Word to comment on your document and then email it back to you at the point when they get done with it. So if you are somebody that is super busy during the day and you're able to fill out the form at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's totally fine. Somebody will look at it when we are open again. A warning for this one, though, is that this is kind of like a first come, first serve as we have time type of thing. So I wouldn't suggest doing this if you need feedback and your paper or your application is due tomorrow. Okay, so if the application deadline is tomorrow, don't use this particular service. Hit us up on Quick Help to see if somebody's available to help you in the moment. Sometimes we can get this feedback back to you quickly, but I would hate for you to miss out on that. Okay, now let's say that you don't really want to interact with somebody. You know you need some help, you want to look at some resources, but talking to somebody is just not something you want to do at this point. We do have some resources to help you out there. One of the first ones are our webinars, and so I'll take you to the webinars page now. The nice thing about our webinars is that we do have two options for you. You can view those live or you can watch one of our recordings. So to get there on your handout, we've got a direct link to this webinars page, but in case you're navigating there from our website, under Online Writing Center, you're going to click on webinars. Okay. At the top of the page, we will list what our webinars for that week are. Often these topics are going to be less applicable for the job-related stuff because they're more related to the academic papers that you're doing. But the reason I wanted to show you this is if we scroll down to previous webinars, we do have some grammar-related topics. So if you're somebody that worries a little bit about your grammar and you know you need to learn more about it, we have the recording link. So this will take you to a Zoom webinar page. You'll just fill in your information. We like to track our views, and then it'll go straight to the recording. We sometimes have quizzes or activities that you can do to test your knowledge. And then we always have a lot of resources over here that either come from us in the Writing Center, things that the tutors have created, or from other university websites that can be helpful. So you can see that for active and passive voice, for example, we have a lot of resources listed for you to look at. Something else that you might find helpful is the emailing instructors or other university staff webinar, while that is written for you, or that was presented for students to learn how to send an email to their instructor, there are some tips and tricks in there for more professional emails that might be applicable if you're like sending a thank you note to the interviewer, or if you're asking a follow-up question. So that might be a good one, or an applicable one for you in this case. The final resource that I think would be applicable for you, again, for these two topics, would be some of our handouts. So again, on the left side of the screen, if you're navigating from the website, you click on Writers Resources, and then the next thing you're going to click is WC Handouts. On your handout that you have a direct link right there to the handouts page, and then I have two handouts in particular linked directly on there. I just want to show you where this was in case there was another topic that you need some help with. But if we scroll down to the genres section, we have two handouts that our tutors have put together that I think would help you, maybe three if you need a personal statement. So I'm going to go ahead and open these in other tabs to kind of explain a little bit more about them. What some of our tutors have done is they have created a sample cover letter, what that might look like. And then from there, they have made comments on there for important information for you to keep in mind with some footnotes there at the bottom. So this can kind of serve as a guide, especially if you really don't know what to do in your cover letter. And then the same thing here for the resume, right? We've got little footnote numbers here that if we scroll down to the second page, the tutors have explained a little bit more information, nice little 2-page summary for you. The nice thing about our handouts is that it is a PDF, as you'll notice right here. You are welcome to print these out or download them onto your computer to use as you would like. Once we're back in person again, we do already have printed copies of these available in the Writing Center that you can just walk in and take with you when you leave. Our tutors give these out all of the time. Okay, so that's just a little bit more information about the things that we have available at the Writing Center to help you out as you're working on this. If you do have questions or you need some help, the two ways that you can reach us are listed on the handout, but I recommend starting with Quick Help because there is a tutor looking at that all of the time that we are open. And you'll get an automated message if we're closed, which will remind us to check back in with you. And then the other way you can reach us is through the email writing@csusm.edu. Evan Smith, the director of the Writing Center, and I try to keep an eye on that mailbox, but since there's only two of us, sometimes we can be a little bit slower replying to that as in comparison to Teams. But I hope that that was helpful. And if you do have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out to us.
Well, thank you guys all for coming today, and I hope this was helpful and that you're able to use this information and get a job, and even better so at Cal State San Marcos. So thank you guys a lot, and have a great day.